Yes, but the real question, the real problem is going to be, where the hell are you going to go to the bathroom? Hello, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. No, I'm not dead. I get that a lot, but I'm not. I was just busy. School's running again. The regular life started up again. The guests have left. I have my afternoons back. I can now film again. I apologize. I told you before, when there's somebody running around the house, I can't do a video. I'm very self-conscious. I can only talk to you. I don't want anybody else to hear what I say. So today we're going to talk about fun stuff. Today we're going to talk about building your perfect emergency kit for emergencies. Now, at the beginning of summer, we had all of these earthquakes along the west coast of North America. We had some in Canada. There were some down in the States. It was shaking pretty badly. No major, huge damages, but it always reminds us that the big one is coming, because we're all along here on the west coast. We're all along that ring of fire, and something bad's going to happen sooner or later. It's just... And on the east coast right now, they're battling these hurricanes. That Hurricane Dorian, it went all the way to Canada, so it's an issue. And in the center, we may have tornadoes. You know, there's always a reason to have an emergency preparedness kit in your house. Let's say your power goes out for 3 days. How are you going to cook? How are you going to charge your phone? How are you going to have contact with the outside world? Let's say you are barricaded in your house, you can't get out. What are you going to eat? And the biggest question, where are you going to poop? There's tons of things that can happen. I mean, I'm not a very positive person. I always think about the worst, but even I had a hard time coming up with all the things that could go wrong. So I made myself a list of what I would like to have in my emergency preparedness kit. I thought about it long and hard, and no, I don't have the kit ready yet, because if I was to wait until the kit's ready to talk about it, that's the day of judgment has come and gone, because plus it's not cheap. It doesn't have to be a big, huge kit, but there is some cost involved, especially if you go with the suggestions that I have. It's an initial purchase, but it should be good for years and years to come. So let's put a scenario up. There was a earthquake. No, let's do hurricane. Let's do hurricane. Let's stay in the pulse of time. Let's say there was a hurricane and your sewers are backed up because there was flooding. You're living in the second floor of your building right now because the lower floor is flooded. Electricity is out. You can't get out of the house. Nobody can get you because the streets are flooded. So they're coming. They're coming to get you. But it will take some time. So you need to be prepared for at least 3 days. The first item that you should get, and that's cheap and it's easy to get, is water. They are selling water in these milk jugs, the 4-liter milk jugs. Like, don't get the milk jugs, get the water jugs. Because even if you have a milk jug and you rinse it out and you put the water in, you may not be able to clean it perfectly. So just start with a water jug. Or if it's easier for you to get with the bottles, just get 4 liters per person, or a gallon per person per day. Okay, let me calculate that. You need 4 liters or 1 gallon of clean water per day per person. Don't forget your animals. My husband, my son, and I, plus the 2 cats. And you should find a place where you can store that, because the water is your most essential item. Maybe you can put it under your bed. If you're in an apartment, I know space is limited. The other thing you can look at is a life straw, or one of these devices that you filter water through. by squeezing them into a bottle. But in order to do that, you need to have a source of water, even a contaminated source of water available. And in cases like sewer backup, I don't know if I would feel comfortable using a live straw. So having that clean water in your house is probably a better idea. The next item is, for me, the quintessential item in my kit. And it's my BioLite stove. I'm gonna show it to you. It's dirty because it's used, but this is what it is. So, the BioLite camp stove is a little stove that works with wood. You put the wood in there. There's an engine over there that generates air. So it blows the air into the fire and makes it really, really hot, so it doesn't develop any smoke, at least not after a little while. And then when it burns hot enough for a while, you can then generate electricity, and you can plug your phone into this USB-C outlet here. So this stove, Wyatt, what? So this stove will generate electricity while it's cooking your dinner. You just have to keep in mind, this is a balcony outside only thing. You cannot use this in the house. But if you have any kind of wood around the house, outside the house, what? What do you want? I have not forgotten about you. You're part of the emergency kit. Okay, I gotta film now. Can I please film? Go play. Go. Go play with Gracie. Gracie, you can get a pot with it that fits right on top. So you can boil water with this and then pour it without spilling it all over. Or you can make a soup in there or something. And you can store the whole thing inside this pot. I'll show you. So this is the pot. You close the legs on this item. Then you take the thing off. You put it in there. And then put the whole thing in there. Okay. Like that. And then the fan spout goes through here. And it's closed now. And then you fold these things away. And now this is your fuel cell. As long as you have a place where you can use it. It needs to be covered, obviously, when it's raining. You need to be able to work this outside. This is after the hurricane is over. So in order to feed that stove, you need some sort of burning material. I have a big bag of wood pellets in my basement anyway as cat litter, but the wood pellets work as fuel for this thing, and it's just amazing. They are easy to store, they're easy to fill in there, and they burn for a long time. You need flint, fire starters, this kind of stuff. My fire starter kit, that's a mint, it's a box of mints. So what I have in there is some cotton balls that I saturated with wax, and I have a fire starter that will make a spark when you do it properly. Okay? That's all you need. Now, you have the stove, you have the water, what are you going to eat? Now for food, you should only buy food that doesn't go bad for a long time, because you don't want to have to rotate your food in your 72-hour emergency kit. You want that kit to sit somewhere in a closet ready to go without you having to worry about it every year, refresh the food source. Like I want to have it ready and then be done with it for a few years, at least 7-8 years. What we can add that's cheap and that's not going to break the bank is things like Spam. Canned pasta, ravioli, everybody loves those. You can have lentils, chickpeas, canned fish, canned salmon, for example, canned fruit, canned vegetables, even green beans. Take something that you would normally eat, they'll make it something that nobody in your house would eat. And it doesn't really matter to be healthy for these 3 days. As long as you get some food into you, it's all that matters. Obviously, if you have these cans, you need a can opener. Do not forget a can opener in your kit because it's absolutely essential. You're gonna swear up and down because you have these cans and you can't open them. That's just so important. And make sure you get one, an easy one of those bare bones can openers. And if you have a utility knife that has a can opener, don't rely on those because people lost limbs with those things. Just get a can opener, stash it with your kit and forget about it. So other than the canned food, you can also buy some freeze-dried meals. There are some freeze-dried meals that are available that have a shelf life of like 30 years. Now, these are not cheap. If you just want to go to freeze-dried meals side, you can go with whatever brand and then buy breakfast, lunch, and dinners and snacks and whatever. All you need to eat those is water, which you can boil on the BioLite camp stove. And then you're good to go. You don't need the can opener. You just rip the package open, you pour the water, and you mix it around and you eat it. Obviously, right? So that's something you want to consider. But every meal costs between $7 and $10. So if you have to buy 3 meals per day per person, that may be expensive. There's a 12 meal sampler kit that you can buy for $100. So that may be a good idea to add to your canned foods, but I wouldn't just rely on that. I'm hearing conflicted messages. This stuff is really good or bad or it tastes. Again, we're just trying to not be hungry in these 72 hours, okay? So it doesn't matter how it tastes. Get it into you, get the calories into you, and you'll be fine. With all this food, we need some sort of a cutlery. Any kind of cutlery will do. You probably won't need a knife, but at least have a fork or a spoon, or go with a spork, which is a fork spoon in one. It can be plastic, it can be metal, it doesn't matter. Just make sure you have that in your kit because otherwise you're going to be eating with your fingers. There's also emergency food bars. That's the stuff that is going to be stored, for example, in a lifeboat on a ship. So when you have these lifeboats and they're going to be deployed onto the water with people in it, there's always a compartment on the side where they have the emergency food bars, which is basically a munched up cookie, fatty, oatmeal, whatever, and then with fat and grease, put it in a block, and it's like a cookie bar, and it's very high in calories. One of those bars is like 400 or 500 calories. And that's called emergency food. Again, it has a very long shelf life. It may not necessarily be yummy, but it will get the job done. So this is something else that you can consider putting into your kit, so you have some food that you don't have to heat, don't have to mix. You just eat it when you're hungry. Granola bars will work too, but again, granola bars will only be good for a couple of years, and then you have to go down there, fish them out of your emergency kit, eat them, because you don't want to waste them, and buy new ones, which in the long run is going to cost you more than buying some emergency food bars. But you do you. Don't forget your animals. Get dry cat food or dog food. Get some brand that they like. They're hungry too. We have all this food, water. We got this. Let's go to the useful items. I would say for 3 days, for a family of 3, $100 cash in small bills. You don't need cash anymore in Canada. You don't need cash anymore in Europe either. Everybody pays with, it's the Americans that have the cash, but we don't. So for the Canadian listeners, have $100 in small bills in your house with your emergency set. It's $100 that you could have in your bank account, that you could have in your wallet, and it's going to sit there in the basement and probably rot. But have it ready to go just in case. You never know if you need some cash and you don't have any, and you're sitting there and all your cards are declined because the bank, I don't know, just don't discuss with me, just have it. If you need any kind of medication that you take on a daily basis, you need to remember to set that aside for 3 days, enough medication for 3 days for you or anybody else who needs medication in that kit. So you need to rotate the medication in that emergency kit regularly. I'd say set yourself a timer on your phone every 6 months. Remind yourself, go get the medication in the basement and put new one in its place. So you rotate. But since this is something you use all the time anyway, it's not that you have to buy something and then you have to throw it away because it's expired. Just keep in mind to rotate that. With that medication, you also need an emergency, like a first aid kit. This is ridiculously small. Don't even worry about that. Your first aid kit should be a serious first aid kit. Like, don't skimp on the emergency kit. This is not something that's going to go bad. I mean, yes, eventually everything is going to go bad. But if you buy a nice kit for $50, you're going to have something that you can rely on. And maybe do some reading on how to use these things when you buy it, just so you know. Okay, it would be good if everybody could do a first aid course to begin with. If you can do it, then get your kit and you're set. If you can't, just get the kit and do some reading about how to use it. That would be good. Just don't be like, I have this emergency kit now. What am I going to do with it? All right, the next item on my list is a hand crank radio. Now, I have one that I got from Amazon quite a few years ago. It has a crank, as I said. You crank it for a little while. And then this one has a flashlight, okay? And it has a radio tuner. So, okay, enough. This is a useful item. You want to know what's going on out there in the zones, in the local radio station may be a better use for you than somewhere Twitter or whatever. If the internet falls apart, you don't have any internet, then what are you going to do? AM, FM radio. That is such an important item in your kit. Make sure it's waterproof. Just, I don't know, what is this, $20? Something like that. Definitely important. First aid kit, we said Mylar Blankets. Okay, Mylar Blankets, something else I need to buy because I don't have those. The Mylar Blankets are these blankets that made out of the same material than these happy birthday balloons, those silvery kind of, you know, the ones that you fill with gas and then you give to your cousin for the birthday. Okay, Mylar blanket is made from that same material. It's very light, it's very thin, but it will keep your body heat inside. It will basically reflect your body heat back to you. It's not like the super warm blanket, but it's better than nothing. And these are small. They're gonna be like a deck of cards, the same kind of size. Stash them with the stuff. I mean, you see it on TV all the time, and there's an emergency, and they're wrapping those in these Mylar blankets. It keeps your body heat inside, and it's good to have in your emergency kit for sure. Also, very cheap. Next, let's imagine again the scenery. The hurricane went through the area. You can't go anywhere. Your car was in the garage crashed, you're stuck. You can print 2 signs and laminate them or keep them in a waterproof envelope. One sign says help and the other one sign says okay. So you apply that to a window on the inside, on a window that faces the street. So the emergency teams that come by your neighborhood, this canvas the neighborhood, if they see that sign in your window that you guys are okay, they're already saving time. They can go to the next person that probably needs more help than you do. Or if you have somebody injured there, you have that sign in there that says need help. You don't have to stand by the window, wait. This is a sign that I downloaded from the Canadian BC emergency website, so I'm assuming this would work. That's definitely something I want to add to my kit. I haven't printed it yet, but it's a PDF that I have already, so I'm going to link all of this stuff. By the way, everything I'm talking about, I have a link to somewhere on the World Wide Web where you can either download it or purchase it or see it. and my list as well. So if that helps you, that list will be also there as a PDF to download. Whistle. We need a whistle. We need 3 whistles. We need a whistle per person. Everybody should have a whistle around their neck. Just get a whistle to call for help or to communicate. Say, I'm here, I'm stuck. Just whistles. Just get enough whistles for everybody. Dust masks. Now, on the West Coast, we may not have the hurricanes, but we will have the earthquakes. We have shiprock, or whatever you call it, on the walls. These things shake and come down. There's going to be dust everywhere. You want to be able to put a dust mask onto your face. Look what happened on September 11th. 9/11, it was just absolutely dust everywhere. When you don't have a dust mask, you breathe that whole shit in, and then you get sick later on. So dust masks, again, at least 1 per person, if not 3 per person for the whole, like get 12 of them. Like if you have 3 people like us, I'm always parting from the family of 3 that we are, but let's get 1 per person per day. They're not expensive. You buy a 25 pack somewhere and you just have them. They may become really, really useful. And now we're coming to the icky stuff. So now we have our food, we have our health things, we have our outcome like communication and money. And now we're coming to 3 days locked in your house with no running water. Where are you going to go to the bathroom? Sure, you could dig a hole in your backyard if you have a backyard and then poop in there. What if you don't have a backyard? What if you have an apartment somewhere? What if your backyard is concrete? What are you going to do now? Where are you going to go if you got to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night? There's looters out there. It's dangerous. You don't know where you're going. The power's out. There's no street light. No, you want a bathroom in your house. Now, I looked so long until I found the solution. You want to be able to go to the bathroom privately, cleanly, and you want to be able to get rid of whatever you left in that bathroom. Okay, so it's a multifaceted problem. What I found, and again, it's all in theory because I haven't bought it yet, but I will, is a product called Luggable Loo. It's literally a bucket with a rim on the top with a toilet seat. It's a toilet seat mounted to a bucket. And in the bucket, you have these liners that are made by this company that have the same type of material in it than a baby diaper. It gels. It's as soon as the liquid or whatever you put in there, it gels, it clings. You take the bag, you seal it, you knot it shut, and you throw it in a garbage bag that you also have in your kit. By the way, garbage bags, very important to have in your kit. And don't get ripped ones. Get the good ones, the contractor quality. You don't want any of the garbage living in your living environment for those 3 days. You want the good garbage bags. So, Luggable Loo and the liners, enough liners for 3 people or however big your family is for 3 days. Don't be skimping on that. You will have women in your family. You have children in your family. Not everybody can stand in a corner and pee against a fence. Women can't do that. So you gotta provide for your family a place where you can go to the bathroom with dignity, without making a mess, without making a smell, to be able to clean it up. And so for me, the best way that I found that was the Luggable Loo. Again, I will put a link. You can buy these at Amazon. You can buy the refill bags at Amazon. That would be, together with the stove, it's just as important as the stove, because I can't possibly live for 3 days without food, but I will have to go to the bathroom for sure. We need the Luggable Loo, the liners, toilet paper in enough quantity, moist wipes, not just for down here, but also for here, hand sanitizer, and garbage bags where we can put all these things when we're done with our business. Okay, so that is the kit. If I've forgotten something, I'm sorry. I've never been in an emergency. I'm just going with my common sense, what I would think would be important to have. All of the things that I talked about, I'm going to list below, and they're going to be available for you pretty much everywhere you can order things. They're Walmart, Amazon. You may never need this, okay? You may never, and God bless us all. If we never need this, it's going to be fabulous. But if we do need it, you don't want to go cheap. You don't want to go on bare minimum. You want to have a nice kit that will serve you well. Do a proper job of it. Do it for yourself. Do it for your family. You need to get on with this. If you don't have a kit yet, get on with it. Anyway, that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I see you again in my next video. Bye.